Acolytes. There is a J Senpai X4 video. I never want lolly culture to go mainstream. Now, you might not want it, but it probably will happen at some point because there are a lot of cute characters in there. Now, if you want to know where I'm on the freaking Lolicon thing, I don't care. The good parts are good, the bad parts are bad. If you actually know what lolly is, you know what I mean, or if you watch my videos about it. Because it's a bit of a fine niche. But the community itself, from what I actually had to endure, let's just endure, say, not in a negative way, was actually quite good. Like, one of the best communities or the nicest communities I met on YouTube. So there's that. Let's just start with Senpai. And if you want the short term, I agree with him. It shouldn't go, but we just cannot stop it.
Giant surprise that we have been talking about Lolly for about maybe 4 years at this point on this channel. And when it comes to Lolly as a whole, it's always been a stressful topic to kind of bring up, but also a enlightening topic. Stressful because obviously you get people that don't understand a damn thing of what's going on, and then it's also enlightening because if you look back in the past and the history of the subject of it, you get to find out stuff about it that you probably wouldn't find out normally because literally no one these days does any research whatsoever. And it's a bit of a dang shame. But overall for me, it's just been something honestly really interesting.
And I have to also say, it's very, for him it's probably, I find it interesting that we have, in the time of information, or we just have any information we want, or we can gather a lot of information, nobody does it for some reason, even though we could just look it up at any time. Okay, to be honest, you really have to look for it, because there are a lot of echo chambers, but hey.
And just been a fun time kind of, looking into it. And I'm not gonna lie, I kind of wish I was more, into, or at least I am, but like a bit more well known within the Lolicon space, right? Mainly because I'm just like, you know what, there's like a ton of people that likes this very much same thing, and there is a niche audience for it, and at the very same time it's just fun. It's fine, there is nothing wrong with it. It's nice to talk about, damn, I really like this character for X reason, and not necessarily be on the judgmental receiving end of that. And it's nice to find people that like that sort of thing too, which bring me to today's topic: Lolicon becoming mainstream. Oh my gosh, do I not want that?
Yeah. And the thing is, I find all the characters just funny. Most of the time, they are just funny. Simple as that. And
let's just keep it very much a stack. That would be the absolute worst damn thing that could ever really happen. That Lolicon of all things, or just lolly material of any kind, really just become like hella mainstream. Like the niche audience that we have here just exceeds growth and goes into way crazy places. I would not want to see that, mainly because, have you seen the anime space? Have you seen how the new generation of people treat everything when it comes to anime? Have you seen how they act like a bunch of YNs and just be on some nonsense type energy?
Like animals,
I rather not. I rather not see the one bastion of, anime not necessarily get hoed because people don't know what the hell this is, much less try to get into it and then call everything mid, trash, and lit and all that type of stuff. That absolutely makes me want to sock a YN in the face that is a new gen. I'm not necessarily gonna lie, it gets very much tiring, and that just, for me, the biggest thing of what I don't want to necessarily see. You already get people that's,
yeah, and the thing is, the entire thing is hypocritical anyway. I don't remember how this song is called. Give me a second, Acolytes. I really have to look this up.
it's already on the mindset of just...
Don't. I got it. Lolicon Requiem. For F's sake, I should have actually seen how many things. It has 20 million. I cannot find the original. It has about, I think it was like 20 million subs. The most that I see right now is 5 million. People love this shit. And this is a Lolicon that actually sings about pretty effed up stuff. or about a, let's just say, sexual thing in Lolicon roleplay, in the roleplay world of Lolicons. And yeah, people don't give a fuck. Did they in the mainstream? They didn't give an absolute effing fuck about it. Just because cute character goes in, sings about sexual stuff, and people were like, yeah, that's good, that's so good. And now it's suddenly a problem again? No, F every single one of them. Every single effing one of them.
You know, not knowing what it is, immediately calling it to be on some type of weird stuff when easily it's not. I mean, granted, yes, lolly can be weird, but at the end of the day, it's not on the realistic side of weirdness that that a lot of these people would think it is, and it's absolutely effing not. And it's just annoying every single time when someone gets, you know, judged for it, or essentially get, you know, their ass handed to them for it over something that's not even effing real. Let's keep that very much a sec. And then at the very same time too, you do get, and I cannot stress this enough, and how much people need to absolutely report the shit out of these people, is that you get people that use, you know, Lolicon material, basically the Gentai sense of everything.
Yep.
And essentially, you do get people that deadass use, you know, Gentai images of lollies and whatever, and essentially try to use that as a bargaining chip, or at least as a code to kind of be like, yo, I want the real life stuff. And that's something I have seen a few times, and it's very much an annoying ass thing, and it's reportable every single time I've seen it, right? And it's just even more so pushes the narrative for a lot of other people that may end up seeing that to be like, oh, so it is that sort of thing.
Correctly, and this is the thing that I don't like about Loli. Those people, exactly those people that actually want the freaking real stuff. This is a gigantic problem. But also, that's not even something special or specific to Loli. Didn't you, like, inform yourself about Hollywood for 5, I would say tops 15 seconds before you go get to the first scandal where a kid gets diddled? So yeah.
When it obviously isn't. It's just some asshole person, predator person, that's legit trying to use that shit. They try to get the real life part of it. And it's just like, no, that's not how that's attached to it. That's not how that works. You're just being an asshole because they're a bitch and a cunt. That's literally how it is. So overall, there's already just tons of bad press lolly has for like a lot of people. And it's always because of the wrong way people kind of perceive this stuff. And it's even worse on a mainstream scale when you have governments and officials of the people like on like obviously like government levels and whatever. They try to come through, dictate what lolly is, and then they still don't get it right. And they don't. Like there was one person that I think on Twitter that was talking about how they was like, oh, they thought, you know, one government official thought Lamine was a lolly. Does Lamine look like a lolly? Yes, I have always seen a lolly with big ass tits like this, as tall as this, that obviously just looks like a lolly, right? That's totally what a lolly look like.
Okay. And even if this was the definition of a lolly, what's the problem with it?
Come on, like let's be absolutely for real. And then it's even worse when you have people like the whole ass UN trying to come through, find ways of like taking, you know, lolly away from people, or trying to limit people's freedom of expression of what they can draw and all that type of stuff, when they have the same effing issue in real life and they can't get that shit sorted, or just why they're a part of it in the first damn place. I got no damn clue. There's also like this weird ass cybersecurity law that's trying to get passed right now that is like trying to include Lolicon material into the subject of, oh, it's to protect children and all that type of stuff, and basically treat it like it's actually real material, when that is the dumbest damn thing I have ever seen. Like, bro, I'm not necessarily gonna lie, every single time I have seen somebody or some people come through talking about some, we need to get rid of lolly, it's usually the type of people that come through in some shape or form to be like, yeah, You say that, but let's go ahead and check your closet and shit. Let's see what else you have in them damn, closets. What skeletons you got? And immediately something is
Yep.
brought to the table where, they get cooked. And that's just essentially how this situation is too. If you've been around the Lolicon community for a while, you have seen and read articles where the UN has done nonsense ass things towards actual real children and literally does not a damn thing about it, right? Hell, if
Correctly.
we gotta be a little bit more like active and a bit more current with this type of topic. Hell, why the hell haven't we seen the certain files that was released to the public, or at least released to certain influencers when it comes down to a certain island? We haven't heard or seen shit about that, and yet people are like, oh yeah, we got the files, phase 1. Bitch, what? Okay, read the shit. Who was in it? Can we make these arrests now, please? Like, what the hell are you waiting on? And essentially, they'll never release that shit because they are absolute pansies. But when it comes down to it, though, Lolly is the problem. That's the main driving force we need to actually solve. No, it just all this shit does overall, in every which way you look at it, it just feels like it's just trying to take away basically freedom of expression, and that's the main damn thing. Like, as much as people try to lobby for, like, oh, let's protect people and let's protect children and all that type of stuff, what they really are saying, let's see how many more rights and whatever things we can take away from the general public, because F those guys. That's what it feels like every single time. And that's, again, one of the main ass reasons why I'm like, man, I really wish Lolly didn't become like a mainstream thing, or it doesn't get any more attention than it does in a way. Because it's like, dude, every single time somebody outside of the anime space come through trying to see what this is and talk about it, they don't know what the hell it actually goes down to, what it actually is, what it does, and all that type of stuff. And they just kind of make their own assumptions for what should be banned, what should not be banned, and all that type of stuff. And at the end of the day, when and if this were to actually get hit with a ban in every which way possible, you do realize it's coming after everything else too, right? Because next thing we know, it's gonna be, oh, too much violence in certain show or game or whatever. Yeet that out of here. Or, oh, just some type of beast.
He's correct about it. The thing is, you have to protect speech you don't like. And as long it's not a call to violence or to harm someone, I actually would say yes, you have to protect speech that you don't like. Because after this thing falls, something you like will fall. And at some point, I just don't want that. I'm gonna be honest, I'd rather that the entire thing stays with Loli than going forward, because right now we're actually in a relatively good spot. Or for now at least. Because we still don't have any bans on anime or something like that. And yes, and don't get me wrong, my dear lolis, after you're hearing this, I don't think it's good. But you're the last bastion before the next actual cruel act of just getting away with our free speech. So you're basically the wall that protects us right now. You're doing a good job of it.
Bestiality with these furries and all that type of stuff. Yeet that out of here. And it just will never go until literally every single thing that we enjoy, every right that we got, is basically taken away because of some bum ass people that don't understand how this shit works. So at times, it's like you already have the Lolicon space feel like it's a mainstream, but it's in the worst possible way, right? Every time it just feels like a losing battle, no matter what the hell ends up happening, and we could just only hope and pray that it doesn't end up in a shittier situation than it already is. And I've said this before when it comes to Lolly and anything in general when it comes to fiction, is that even if something is basically labeled like, M for mature or teen for T for teen or whatever, essentially it's not asking about people's age that is, mature enough to play or be a part of certain types of material, but it's also the mentality of how you view these sort of things too, right? You just can't put something in front of every single adult's face that is mature and then think everybody's going to act responsibly, because no, that's not how that works. If you can't handle it, if you can't really understand and grasp the concept of what you're dealing with, might need to leave it alone. Might just let it be to the other people that actually does enjoy that type of content, and just let that be. Because oftentimes you get crazy dumbass people like the
Yeah.
people that absolutely hate other lolicons, or like the people that come through trying to make these weird ass regulations and
This isn't specific for Lolicon, this is just real life. Lolicon is just one of the many targets. That's normal.
all that type of stuff, or like the people that try to get real life content from using, or pretending to be a lolicon and all that type of stuff, and it's 100% annoying from all across the
Yes.
board. Because oftentimes people treat lolicon like it's the worst damn thing in the world, when in reality, it's the reason why we have a lot of the stuff we have to this damn day. And it's not even just in Japan too, but also even in the West. There is plenty of stories from the ye olden times that makes up a lot of the stories that we have today, or a fair amount of them that we have today in certain tropes when it comes down to it, and just be like, yeah, if it wasn't for that old ass piece of literature or that old ass shit right there, this will be looking very different, and especially when it comes to anime in Japan. Because if it wasn't for those characters getting railed, getting put into adult situations, getting changed up in their genres in every which way, and the art style changing and all that other stuff, we wouldn't have a lot of the peak stuff we have now. Like, we just wouldn't. Now, don't get me wrong, still, I understand why people might say Lolicon is weird, and I get it. But at the same time, there's still people that just, literally enjoy it for what it is.
Yep. If you don't like it, just don't watch it. Simple as that. Because, yes, of course, not everybody will enjoy it. I don't enjoy football. Football, I think it's in English. Why? Because I think it's fucking boring. I would say that a lot of people disagree with me on this one in Germany. But hey, it is what it is.
And not go any further than that, right? Hell, there's even people that like certain types of lolly that you have within this whole aspect of the concept, right? For me personally, and I'll keep it very much a stack, the type of lolly I am mainly like, more so like, oh yeah, gotta take to Pound Town, is people that mainly are, Konako size, or about Konako stature, right? At least to me, because I'm like, yeah, if it's like a Konako, I'm clapping. Tanya, we can obviously throw that in that discussion as well. Pan, immediately clapping. Her name is literally bread in Japanese. You don't think I'm trying to pound that pan in the back of her rear of that cake? Immediately throw that shit in there. Like, that's no discussion, no.
You effing... Why? Pen was depicted as a very small child. People know her since she's a very, very young girl. When she was in fact underage. When she's of age, that's fine. But please, for F's sake, make this distinction. This isn't a clear thing. I assume the best of him, or I give him the benefit of the doubt that he means the adult version of Pen. That's fine then. But most people will know her as a child. You have to be more careful about words like this.
No brainer, honestly. Hell, and sometimes you have those occasions where you're just like, yeah, you know what, I wouldn't normally be a part of that, but I would like to be. And that's like where Anya and Eri come in, because Eri just got the dumpiest ass of all the lollies that's out there. People can definitely throw Kana into that list too. Why not? That's not necessarily a bad, case to have there. And then you get some characters that are just, people want to complain about saying that there aren't lolly, but let's be honest, they really are. Like Ilulu, yes, the big Opie lolly dragon chick. Who wouldn't want to clap? Who wouldn't want that? I'm pretty certain tons of people wouldn't mind clapping that, because absolutely, yes, it's dragon boobs. Why not? So put her in that stockpile as well, right? And there's just a plethora of other lolly characters that you can sit here and enjoy, honestly. And hell, there's even tags that lolly haven't even, hit yet. And one of my more popular tweets that exists to this day right now is one of Anya being oiled up. How have we not have any lollies be oiled up and actually be put in some nice ass art pieces? I am still confused as hell as to why we don't see oiled up lollies with their oiled up cheeks all the dang time. It's baffling to me. There is still tons of things you haven't done with the concept that I would like to see. And there's tons of lolly characters that just literally do not get any type.
I think I can explain that one. The inspiration of the character came when they were, in fact, younger or not as old. So, the thing, if you get them inspired when they look like they look, you don't necessarily want to see them older. You're just gonna depict them in the way you've seen them, or at that point where you actually got inspired by them. That's a pretty normal human behavior, I would say.
Of art that I would very much like to see get something of the sort when it comes down to it. And I know, yes, AI exists, and yes, Rule to the 4 and all these other Boru places and stuff like that is basically drowned in it, unfortunately. But I'm not counting those. Yes, as good as some of those Konako AI pictures look at times, and yes, I do have a collection of it, I have a problem. But when it comes down to it though, I don't like all that type of stuff to be the standard. I would like to see someone, if they're gonna do anything, draw Konako or animate Konako in actual human hands, actual human talent and all the skills in the world, while I'm clapping her cheeks in the animated form. It better not be Issei's bum ass. We already discussed that yesterday. I don't want to see Issei's bum ass touching Konako whatsoever, but you get the damn point. If I'm gonna watch Konako getting absolutely railed by me and only me, I would like to see it through animators' hands, people that actually can draw and not get left up to a damn machine. Or if there's going to be a hot ass picture.
Good. I'm gonna be honest, right now I am a bit disgusted by this point. We're talking about his fetish right now. This is something that I'm gonna skip personally. I really don't need to hear fucking 10 minutes with character you would clap and which one you wouldn't. I mean, there are a lot of characters that I would, everyone to his own, say it quick and nice, but I personally just don't find this specific part to be appealing or in any way informative. At least not for me. Except it's for fun. I mean, for F's sake, I did some videos with, how is he called? Dark Knight. And not now. But the rest of the points, by the way, acolytes, I agree with him. To a very high degree, and I think he has a point there, or he makes a lot of good points. The only thing that just is 4 minutes of pure cheek clapping thematic, it's just too much. And I know everybody has his fetishes, but just keep them to yourself at this point, or say them out and then just make a point out of it and then just stop. But that's only for me, old Lich, that's maybe a bit prude about this. As it is, acolytes, good night. And before I forget it again, thank you to Agents of Social Media Chaos for sharing this video. Yeah, that's all.